The Denver Broncos are moving with purpose again, another smart, aggressive move from a front office that refuses to wait until the market forces their hand. Once more, Denver locks in a key player before free agency can drive the price into the stratosphere. And that's not all. The Broncos are now connected to a surprising free agent running back who unexpectedly slipped through waivers, and a superstar wide receiver is set to hit the open market next year, a development almost nobody saw coming. The big question now, should Denver strike while the opportunity is in front of them? Before we go any deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support helps these deep dive Broncos breakdowns keep coming. Back to business, because Denver's front office is anything but idle. George Paton continues to show the same sharp instincts that have defined his time in Denver: identify talent early, reward it early, and avoid handing out a king's ransom later. Because of this strategy, the Broncos have built a roster loaded with players outperforming their contracts. Quinn Meinerz? He would command far more on the open market. Patrick Surtain too? A franchise cornerstone on a deal that feels almost unreal. Jonathan Cooper? Another example of premium production on a bargain salary. The pattern is clear, and it continues with one of the most accurate kickers the Broncos have ever had, Will Lutz. Denver used the bye week wisely, securing the kicker Sean Payton trusts more than any other. Payton cycled through multiple kickers during his early New Orleans years, but the moment he found Lutz, a player with ice in his veins, he never looked back. Bringing him to Denver was no surprise, and re-signing him now is simply a winning move. All around the league, teams are scrambling for consistency at the position. Missed extra points are costing games. Blocked kicks are swinging momentum. Entire playoff hopes are slipping away because teams don't have a reliable leg. Meanwhile, Denver isn't just settling for competence, they have one of the very best in the NFL. Multiple-time AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. 5 for 5 in that crucial game against the Kansas City Chiefs. A steady, calm finisher who treats pressure like routine. And here's the part that even shocks longtime fans: statistically, Lutz has been more efficient than Brandon McManus and even Jason Elam, names that carry serious weight in Broncos history. It sounds bold, maybe even impossible, but the numbers back it up. And now, Denver has secured him as the 6th highest paid kicker in football. Give it 2 years and that deal will look like a steal. Fans will look back and say the same thing they've said about Payton's best moves: how did they lock him down for that price? Because that's what Denver does when they're at their best: they think ahead, act quickly, and build the kind of roster that wins in the margins. And Will Lutz is exactly that kind of move. Stepping back and looking at the big picture, what the Broncos are building right now is nothing short of incredible. Denver sits at the top of the AFC, one of the best teams in the entire NFL, and nearly the entire core of this roster is secured for the future. With Russell Wilson's dead cap burden finally disappearing, the Broncos aren't just built to win now, they're built to win for years to come. The foundation is strong, the contracts are smart, and the momentum is real. But let's talk about Will Lutz, because his impact deserves every bit of attention it's getting. Broncos fans remember the legends. Jason Elam was beloved, and for his era, an 80% field goal rate felt elite. Brandon McManus delivered during that unforgettable Super Bowl run, hitting pressure kicks that electrified an entire fanbase. Those memories still matter. But today? Will Lutz stands above them both. Lutz is drilling field goals at 88.6%, and when the moment is at its absolute peak, he's as steady as they come. For game winners this season, for moments where Sean Payton was already celebrating before the ball even left the ground, because he knew exactly how it would end. That feeling, that confidence. Broncos country hasn't felt that in a long, long time. Every kicker gets their share of criticism. Yes, there was that costly miss against the Colts, but even that doesn't change the truth: when it comes to field goal accuracy, Lutz is simply the best Denver has ever had. And even the old comparison to Elam on extra points doesn't hold up, because the NFL pushed PATs farther back after Elam retired, turning what used to be automatic into something far more challenging. The stats just don't compare across those eras. But when you break it down by distance, it's not close. From 40 to 49 yards, Lutz is the standard. From 30 to 39, he's elite. Inside 30, he's neck and neck with the best Denver has ever put on the field. The only area where he isn't dominant is long-range bombs. He doesn't have that launch it from another zip code leg, hitting around 62% from 50-plus yards. But that's a small trade-off for everything else he brings. What matters most, accuracy, consistency, trust, he delivers every single week. This signing is going to age beautifully for the Broncos. The longer he plays under this contract, the more it will look like a masterpiece of roster construction, the kind of move fans look back on and say, that right there changed everything. And now we turn to one of the biggest remaining questions for Denver. With J.K. Dobbins sidelined until what many expect to be around Super Bowl week, the Broncos must decide their next move at running back, and the timing could not be more critical. The conversation around Denver's backfield took a major turn this week, and it all started when we heard from Luka Evans of the Denver Post. With J.K. Dobbins sidelined until late in the season, the Broncos are searching for answers, and suddenly, a surprising opportunity has opened up. Out of nowhere, Dameon Pierce hit waivers. Not because he lacked talent. Not because he regressed beyond repair. But because he simply didn't fit the Texans' offensive system. Houston shifted philosophical gears, and Pierce's downhill, power-based style didn't mesh with their outside zone approach. He went unclaimed, and that's where things get interesting. Now, any team in the league can call him directly, lay out a vision, offer a spot on the 53-man roster, and negotiate a fresh deal. And if the Broncos want him, they have a real shot. Look back at Pierce's rookie season coming out of Florida, he was an absolute revelation. Nearly 1,000 rushing yards in just 13 games, 4 touchdowns, breaking tackles like a runaway freight train. Texans fans looked at him the same way Broncos country once looked at Philip Lindsay, electric, fearless, impossible not to root for. He was that good. After that, his production dipped, but not because the talent disappeared. The Texans moved deeper into an outside zone scheme, and Pierce is built for something entirely different. He thrives in power gap concepts, straight downhill, hit the crease, explode through contact. So now the question becomes, is he a fit in Denver? Sean Payton invested serious time in shifting the Broncos toward an outside zone foundation, a design that maximizes play action and helps Bo Nix operate like a classic Kubiak-style quarterback, under center, rolling out, manipulating defenders. That is the identity Payton envisioned. But here's the twist, Denver has mixed in plenty of power gap looks this season. And we've already seen what happens when a talented runner doesn't fit the scheme. Javonte Williams struggled in Denver's system, only to explode once he landed with the Cowboys in a scheme that suits him better. So the choice facing Payton is fascinating. Does he want a versatile runner who fits every aspect of the offense? Or does he want a violent, physical tone setter who does one thing, but does it at an elite level? Because Dameon Pierce is exactly that. Watch his highlights, he runs angry. Breaks tackles. Absorbs hits. Drives through defenders like they're paper. He brings a level of physicality that changes the tempo of a game. If Denver wants a punishing, downhill runner to complement their offensive identity, Pierce could be the answer. Now it's up to the Broncos to decide whether his style is worth adjusting the scheme, or whether he becomes another talented back who thrives somewhere else. Dameon Pierce isn't just a bruising runner, he's the kind of talent that made people wonder how he ever slipped to the 4th round. In his rookie season, he looked like an absolute steal, a powerhouse who ran with the type of violence and urgency that turns heads immediately. His early carries with Houston showed exactly who he is, a pure power gap runner built to punish defenses, break tackles, and finish runs with authority. And it doesn't stop there. Pierce also brings special teams value, highlighted by that explosive punt return he ripped off against Cleveland, a reminder that he's more than just a one-dimensional downhill back. He has versatility, toughness, and the kind of on-field energy that can spark an entire team. But while Denver considers whether Pierce fits their offensive identity, another massive storyline has shaken the NFL landscape, one nobody saw coming. The upcoming free agent wide receiver class was looking thin. Broncos fans were frustrated at the trade deadline when the team didn't land a big-name playmaker. And when you scan the projected free agent list for next season, the options are underwhelming. Many names simply don't move the needle, and others are aging out of their prime. Even the biggest recognizable name, Mike Evans, is entering the twilight of his career. Then the bombshell dropped. The San Francisco 49ers voided Brandon Ayuk's guaranteed years, and he is now set to hit free agency. This is the type of talent who can completely change a franchise's passing attack. Ayuk is one of the smoothest, most surgical route runners in the league. Watch him work: sharp cuts, sudden separation, effortless footwork. He manipulates defenders like chess pieces. The infamous in-and-out release that Peyton Manning jokingly calls the burger route is one of Ayuk's signatures, and he executes it better than almost anyone playing today. But his relationship with the 49ers has been rocky. Reports of frustration, questions about commitment, and even small conflicts, like refusing to wear team-issued gear at practice, all contributed to San Francisco's decision. Yet we've seen similar dynamics before. Some players simply fall out of sync with a system or a quarterback. And the moment they find a new environment, new leadership, or a quarterback they trust, everything changes. Denver has already benefited from that kind of shift. Several players have publicly said they believed in the Broncos' direction, and in their quarterback, more than what they left behind. Ayuk could be another star who thrives when given a fresh start and a team that believes in him. Imagine adding a route runner of Ayuk's caliber to Denver's offensive arsenal. Imagine pairing that precision with the timing, rhythm, and play-action structure the Broncos are building. That kind of talent doesn't hit free agency often, and when it does, the teams who act fast are the ones who reap the rewards. One thing is certain: for a team sitting at 9-2 and refusing to relax, the Broncos are staying in the headlines. The bye week may be on the schedule, but this team hasn't taken a single day off from shaping its future. Football is almost here, just days away, and the energy around the Denver Broncos feels electric. The countdown is on, the stadium lights are warming up, and the battles ahead are setting the stage for another unforgettable chapter in this season. Chiefs. Colts. Rivalries. Storylines. Momentum. The entire league is gearing up for a showdown-packed week. And through it all, Broncos country has every reason to believe. This team is locked in. This roster is built to compete. And the fire inside this locker room is only getting stronger. The journey continues, and Denver is far from finished.